Player news, and of course, for all of your Roto-World player news, go to NBCSports.com. How about the Thursday night football injuries we're tracking? Justin Fields dealing with that thumb, although it's starting to lean like Justin Fields is going to play. We'll get into more of that in just a second here. Khalil Herbert looking like he's going to be officially back from that ankle injury as he's been practicing. Cole Kmet, I know he lost his injury designation after not practicing on Monday. And then you have DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault, two receiving options for the Panthers, dealing with injuries of their own. But back to Justin Fields, we got to hear from offensive coordinator Luke Getsy on his status and on how the offense would differ, or if it would at all, if they move to Fields.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll just come down to Justin, the training staff, coach, and Ryan figuring out where they want to be and all that stuff. I think when you're in this moment, you're kind of out of that conversation from my perspective.
Are you putting together game plans, like concurrent game plans, one for Agent Fields? Like, how much variance is there in what you would do based on which guy plays quarterback?
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week. I think that's the cool part about how we put this thing together at the very beginning, where we felt like we kind of put it all out there for our guys and being able to take this thing in a few different directions, and the guys feel really comfortable in doing that. So I don't think from everybody else's perspective in that room, other than the two quarterbacks, it's not gonna feel like it's a different game plan by any means if we go one direction or the other.
Okay. Listen, that's the most annoying. If I was a Bears fan, listen, Tyson Bagent, great story. Easy kid to root for, right? Yeah. And he's played well. Like, he's exceeded expectations. The fact that he's on an NFL roster is exceeding expectations.
We love Teabag. We're a Teabag show.
We are a Teabag show. We are pro Teabag here on the Happy Hour. Make no mistake about it. We like Tyson Bagent. But the idea that an undrafted rookie free agent quarterback is the same as the guy you traded a first to go up and get in Justin Fields, either that's a massive mismanagement of resources, once again, or I just don't understand football at all. I mean, I understand that it's been inconsistent for Justin Fields, but and Tyson Bagent, because you're sort of like, come on, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, you're watching the games like that, and it's sort of like, he's not terrible,
right.
But What was that?
It wasn't great.
That's like some coach speak type
right.
stuff. I guess you got to try to. I think he's doing his best to try to be respectful to all the players involved. But like you said, Tyson Bagent, he did all right. For all things considered, but just a couple of weeks before he went in the game, we had Justin Fields throwing for 4 touchdowns in consecutive weeks. So. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo to me.
By the way, but I had such a huge issue with the coach speak of that because, not for nothing, I get, you don't want to insult Tyson Bagent. All due respect, Tyson Bagent, you're the backup quarterback who is an undrafted free agent. This guy is your franchise. Justin Fields at the moment is the face of your franchise. Yeah, if you're kissing somebody's ass, it's going to be Justin Fields.
Right.
You know what I mean? Build up that guy who, by the way, Justin Fields has the ability. Because we saw it against Washington. We've seen it at various points in his NFL career. It's been inconsistent, but we've seen it at various points of his NFL career where Justin Fields has the ability to be like, guys, on my back, we're winning this game. And whether he's running 70 yards or whatever, he was brilliant against my Commanders. Again, not hard to do, but still, we saw him, to Lawrence's point, the last couple of weeks. That answer drove me crazy just watching that. That was the first time I saw it. That's mind-blowing to me. I think Justin Fields starts on Thursday night, by the way.
Yeah, Justin Fields, he's the franchise for 8 more games, and then it'll be Caleb Williams or Drake May, I suspect. But I think Fields will play on Thursday as well. The line on DraftKings has been moving towards the Bears. They're now 4-point favorites. Tyson Bagent's not going to be a 4-point favorite against Carolina.
He going to be the franchise for 8 more games? What if the Bears don't have the top pick?
Well, they got 2 cracks at it. Right? Carolina's pick as well.
You got the Giants.
Yep.
You got the Cardinals.
I think the Cardinals might be okay the rest of the
I think they will too. Who else is out there? 2
Kyler's
wins.
The Broncos for his job now. Kyler's like, I'm going to win this.
Rams, Broncos.
Patriots.
Patriots is a
sneaky one.
They weren't a team that you thought was going to kind of be here. You didn't think they'd be 7-2, but not 2-7 either. So,
between the Bears and the Panthers, I think one of those.
So you don't think Justin Fields could, no matter how he play, he gone?
Not necessarily, but I would suspect if they're in a position where they can draft Caleb Williams or Drake May, then that's their guy, and you move on from Fields at that point. But Connor, you'd be more of an authority on this.
No, I agree. That regime hasn't drafted a quarterback yet, and that regime is dangerously close to being on the hot seat at best. So they, I think, will take their own crack and restart the timeline. There's some political aspects of that in the NFL, but there's also some talent aspects. It's a great quarterback class.
Yeah, it is, but there will be a lot of suitors for Justin Fields.
Sure, and it doesn't mean Fields' career is over. It's far from that.
What would he get, Connor? You get a second
I think he would get a conditional package of day 2 picks that could play up.
Yep.
It'll be based all on, you'll have 1 pick this year that could be a third, but then the second rounder of next year can play its way up to a first if he has a great season. Things like that.
You might do
with
that
young quarterbacks.
as Commanders fan. If that doesn't happen for Sam Hill.
So I might do that.
Something along the lines of that.
Giants might do that.
Yeah.
Giants are in trouble.
Giants, yeah.
Giants
Listen,
might have
one
Caleb
note, though,
Williams.
on Thursday Night Football that is very important, especially for the success of Justin Fields. Brian Burns has a concussion. He is not expected to play. So keep that in mind if you are debating playing Fields.
yeah.
If he's,
That a clean
looks good for the
pocket
Bears.
Fields.
Yes.
I'm as a borderline top 10 play this week. I mean, again, and he'll be a QB1 for me against Carolina. It's his first game back. I get it, but listen, and Panthers have played better defensively recently, but I feel like that's more about teams' inefficiency and sort of playing down. Like, again, the rushing of Fields. In a week in which Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes and Tua Tagovailoa are out this week, I think I'd be hard pressed to be like, oh yeah, I'm not starting Justin Fields if he's back. And like you said, we expect him to be back.
Some other news and notes around the league. Will Levis will start against the Bucs. The Will Levis era is underway in Tennessee. A new era over in Los Angeles for the Rams. Carson Wentz is expected to sign with the team. I guess the Brett Rippon experiment did not last very long in the Rams' eyes for now. Over in Dallas, a return story. Martavis Bryant with the Cowboys. Martavis Bryant has not played in almost half a decade at this point. James Conner designated to return from IR. So some big news for those of you that have been understandably holding on to James Conner if you get him back.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Anything chime in on those?
No, I was going to say a couple of things. So Will Levis is not only the starter this week; he started the rest of the season.
That era is underway.
The quote from Vrabel, quote, "I think there's clearly something there. We want to be able to continue to work with him and progress and develop and win, and that's how you get better." So, Will Levis, this is the right move for them. It's probably not their season, and so see what you have in the kid. Ryan Tannehill will be the backup when he's back fully healthy. Much respect to Tannehill, who had a great career in Tennessee, and I think he still has some football left.
Oh, yeah.
He'll have a job next year somewhere else, would be my expectation. But this is the right move for Tennessee. So hats off to both Tannehill, and I'm excited for Will Levis, who, I'm a fan of. It's worth noting, by the way, Treylon Burks in the concussion protocol. He's not expected to play this week, at least as we sit here today.
Yeah, not sure why they didn't trade Tannehill. I guess they just wanted him.
Maybe it's because he wasn't healthy and they couldn't.
Yeah,
Some money reasons too.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's a little weird that Tannehill's just going to be sitting there
agree.
not doing much because he could help a lot of teams. Carson Wentz
the
as well.
Jets.
Yeah, could help the Jets. Another guy who could help the Jets is
I
Carson
heard
Wentz.
you have a little chuckle when you read off Carson Wentz. Was that the most funny thing you saw on that screen there? Because there was another guy who he ain't played no NFL ball in what?
It's
5 years?
But that was our craziest graphic of the season, by the way.
It is.
The Carson Wentz Martavis Bryant blender graphic.
So, two things, very quickly, on Martavis Bryant. Why not? He's only what did you say? He's 26 or something like that?
He's got to be older than that, but
he's young. That's
He's
the crazy-
31.
No, he is not.
31, yeah.
he hasn't played in the
Martavis
NFL
Bryant-
since 2018.
I understand.
31.
He's 31?
Yeah.
I thought he was young.
There was I cannot
Everyone looks
remember.
young to me.
I cannot remember the name of this XFL player, but he tweeted something when Martavis Bryant got signed, and he basically was pissed off. He was like, "Here go the politics." Then he put their stats up, and his stats blew Bryant's out the water. And you just spoke about politics could play into things, and that's probably a good example. Martavis Bryant had 14 receptions last season in the XFL, but I guess if at some point you played in the NFL,
Name recognition.
yeah, a certain team needs a possible deep ball threat.
Let's be clear.
And Dallas has done this before. They did it with Aldon Smith a couple years ago, and he had been out for 5 years as well. So no shock that Dallas is the team that done it.
Martavis Bryant is a great name. Like let's just as names go.
That too.
Dropping popcorn.
I'm a little bit.
It's good to know when you're washed up, you have a home in Dallas with the Cowboys. I don't know what you'd be doing there, but they'll bring you in.
Yeah.
Oh, Barry hasn't been on TV in 5 years, but
might be next year.
Here he
Next
is.
week.
Wheel him out.
Might be next week. Welcome to the Cowboys pregame show. I'm Matthew Barry.
That'd be great.
Dallas Cowboy Radio.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, man.
All right, so the other thing two last things. Again, James Conner was a top 20 fantasy running back before he went down. I think this is exciting news for the Cardinals. We're going to talk about that game a little bit later in the show here, but you see the quote here from Darren Urban, who covers the team, has done it for years. The Arizona Cardinals designate running back James Conner to return from IR, opening his practice window. It's possible the Cardinals will have both Conner and Kyler Murray back in this offense Sunday against Lawrence Jackson's Falcons. I put in the Lawrence Jackson piece. Darren did not tweet that.
Well, he forgot that.
It's Lawrence Jackson's Cardinals, because I'm taking the Cardinals money line.
I like that bet.
Fired it up.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
The other thing about Carson Wentz, I'll just say anyway, hopefully Connor comes back, and I think if he comes back, he's immediately a top 20 play. You're excited about that. And my guess is that he will come back and play this week. Because this is right in the timeline. The one last thing I want to say about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz isn't good.
Man.
Stop it. I didn't like that move when the Commanders. Go back and watch my tweets.
You kept on saying he's a professional quarterback.
He is, but that's what I'm about to say again.
Yeah.
He is a professional quarterback, and for fantasy purposes, this feels more about depth. That just they felt like Carson Wentz was an upgrade over Brett Rippon, which I agree with. I don't know if this means that Stafford's injury is worse than we feared. They're on a bye this week, so we have time. But I think if Stafford's injury is worse than we fear, this is good news that Carson Wentz comes in. He's got 2 weeks to get up to speed on this offense. And look, Carson Wentz, you don't want Carson Wentz as an NFL quarterback because he's bad in the locker room. Like, none of his teammates like him. And he's a turnover machine, a whole thing. But he is Jay's just looking at me. Get a shot at Jay. Look at what Jay's sitting here, give me,
he was holding it really well.
Jay's give me, eyes that are really?
Carson Wentz, bad man.
All I'm saying is, for us in the world of fantasy football, what do we care about? Can somebody get the ball to Cooper Kupp? Can he get the ball to Puka Nacua? Maybe Tyler Higbee? And can they keep the offense efficient enough so that the running game has somewhere to go, whether it's Darrell Henderson or Kyron Williams, maybe he comes back after the bye. And my argument is that Carson Wentz can do all those things, that he's a professional quarterback. There will be some head-scratching turnovers. He's not going to be beloved in the locker room. He's probably not going to be invited to breakfast with Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua. But
Cooper Kupp a nice guy. He might invite him.
First time. And
then he'll see how he is. He's like,
hey guys, where's breakfast?
Couple Bible verses later.
Leave him on red. But I do think that Carson Wentz is an upgrade over Brett Rippon. And I do think he has supported fantasy-relevant wide receivers throughout his career, Carson Wentz. And he was actually good in fantasy at points for the Commanders last year. He was at the beginning of the year because they were throwing a ton.
He was decent on the Colts the year before.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's not on our team, Connor, the New York Jets. I think that'd be a playoff team.
Considering how well Joe Douglas knows him, I think that says more about Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that might be right.
But
again, that is the word on him. Is just he's just not a great guy. He's not a great locker room guy. He's not a great leader of men, which is what you want from the quarterback position. But for us in the world of fantasy football, that's Sean McVay's problem. If he's out there, I think you feel better about your shares of Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp today than you did yesterday before the signing.
I agree.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.